Welcome back to Englopod, the podcast where you build confidence and shape your future.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you today.
We have a really special episode for you today. This is a deep dive.
That is right, a deep dive.
Yeah.
That means we look very, very closely at one topic. We explore it completely.
And today's topic is, I think, very important for everyone. It's something we all do, but maybe we don't do it very well.
That's true. The topic is studying. But, it's more than that. It's really about how to learn faster and better.
This is the perfect topic for our listeners, I think. We all want to learn. We're here to learn English. We want to learn new skills for our jobs, for our lives.
Exactly. But there's a big problem, a really common one. Most people they don't know how to study.
That sounds a little strange to me. I mean, we go to school for so many years. Don't schools teach us how to study?
Well, you would think so. But usually, no. Teachers tell us what to learn. They say, read this chapter or learn these dates for the history test. But they rarely tell us how to put that information into our brains. I mean, how to do it in a way that works.
That is so true. I remember my teachers always saying, study hard.
Yes, study hard.
But they never explained what that really means. What does studying hard look like? Does it just mean sitting with a book for a long time?
And that's what we're going to change today. We are going to talk about working smart, not just working hard.
I like the sound of that. Working smart.
It's all about being efficient.
Okay, that's a great word. Let's do a quick vocabulary check right there. What does efficient mean exactly?
Efficient. It means doing a job well, but without wasting time or energy.
Okay, without wasting time. That's the important part.
Yes. Think about a car. An efficient car can go a very long way with just a little bit of gas.
Okay, I get it.
But an inefficient car? Well, it uses a lot of gas, but it only goes a short distance. It wastes energy.
So we want our brains to be like that efficient car.
Precisely. We want to learn a lot of information, but we don't want to waste hours and hours of our day feeling tired and learning nothing.
That sounds like a dream. Because right now, I think many of us, including me, feel like that inefficient car sometimes.
You're definitely not alone. Let me ask you a question. And I want you, our listener, to think about this question too.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you ever study for many, many hours, but then the next day you forget almost everything?
Oh, yes. All the time. That is my life story with studying.
Can you maybe give me an example? What does that look like for you?
Sure. Sometimes I decide, okay, I'm going to be a good student. It's Saturday morning. I tell myself, today I will study English all day.
All day. Wow.
Yes. I sit at my desk. I have my books already. I have my coffee. And I just sit there for maybe 6 hours straight. I just read and read and read.
6 hours without stopping.
Yeah.
Without a break.
I try not to stop, yes. Because in my mind, that's working hard.
Yeah. And tell me, how do you feel at the end of those 6 hours?
Honestly, I feel terrible. My head hurts. My eyes are tired. I'm just so bored.
And the next day, on Sunday, how much of the English vocabulary do you remember from Saturday?
That's the worst part. Almost nothing. I remember sitting at the desk. I remember the feeling of being tired. But the actual information, it's just gone.
This right here is the big mistake. This is what we call the problem of time.
So studying for 6 hours straight is a bad idea.
It's a very, very big mistake.
But I always thought working hard was good. Everyone says you have to work hard.
And working hard is good. But sitting in a chair for 6 hours without a break is not working hard.
Wow.
It's working inefficiently. It's wasting your time.
Why, though? What is happening inside my brain when I do that?
Well, we looked at some really interesting research from a professor named Marty Lobdell. He spent years studying how students actually learn, and he found something fascinating about focus.
Focus. Okay, so that means paying attention, right?
Exactly. Focus is when your brain is looking at one thing and only one thing. You're not thinking about your phone. You're not looking out the window. You are 100% paying attention.
Right. I'm in the zone, as people say.
Yes. But Professor Lobdell found that most students can only really focus for a pretty short amount of time.
How short? An hour.
Shorter. For most people, it's about 25 to 30 minutes.
Wait, really? Only 30 minutes?
Yes. After about 30 minutes, your brain gets tired. It needs a rest. It's like a muscle that you've been using, and now it's sore.
That's very short. I really thought I could focus for hours if I tried hard enough.
Well, you can sit in a chair for hours. That's easy. But your brain is not learning for hours.
Okay, so let's go back to my 6-hour study session. Let's break it down.
Let's do that. So you sit down in your desk, you open your book. For the first, say, 25 or 30 minutes, you're doing great.
My brain is fresh. I'm learning things.
Exactly. You're understanding the words, the information is going in. You're at 100% efficiency.
Okay, so what happens at minute 31?
At minute 31, your brain's battery starts to run out of power. The quality of your learning, it drops a lot.
So what am I actually doing for the rest of that time? For the next 5.5 hours?
For the next 5.5 hours, you are mostly just looking at the book. You are not really learning.
I'm just wasting time.
You're wasting a lot of time. You start to look at the clock. You start to think about dinner. You read the same sentence 3 or 4 times, and you still don't understand it. Does that happen to you?
Oh, I hate that. Yes. I read a sentence and the words are just words. There's no meaning. So I read it again and again.
That is a signal. It's your brain shouting at you, stop. I am tired. I need a rest.
This is making me feel a little sad. I think about all the Saturdays I've wasted.
No, don't be sad. Now you know the secret. And because you know the secret, you can fix it. It's an easy fix.
How do I fix it? I mean, I have a big exam. I need to study for more than 30 minutes a day.
Oh, you can definitely study for many hours. But you have to change how you do it. The secret is you must take a break.
A break. Let's explain that word for our listeners.
A break is just a short rest. It's a time when you completely stop what you are doing. You stop working.
Okay, so what's the new plan? What should I do?
The new plan is simple. It's often called the Pomodoro technique. You study for 25 minutes, then you stop.
Stop completely, even if I feel good.
Yes. Set a timer on your phone for 25 minutes. When that timer rings, you close your book. You stand up.
And then what do I do?
You take a break, a short break, about 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes, that's it.
That's all you need. That's enough time for your brain's battery to recharge.
Okay, this is important. What should I do during that 5-minute break? Can I, check my email or look at my phone?
No, that is a very, very important point. Do not check your email. Do not check social media.
But why not? Looking at Instagram is fun. It feels like a break.
It feels like a break, but it isn't a real rest for your brain. When you look at Instagram, your brain is still working very hard. It's processing pictures, reading comments, seeing colors.
So it's not actually resting, it's just doing a different kind of work.
Correct. For a real effective break, you need to let your mind relax completely. Move away from all information.
Okay, so give me some examples. What is a good 5-minute break?
The best things are simple. Stand up, walk to the kitchen and get a glass of water.
Easy enough.
Do some simple stretches. Look out the window and just look at a tree or the clouds. Let your eyes relax.
Okay.
Or listen to one song. Just one song that you love that makes you happy. Or talk to your friend or a family member for a few minutes.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you're changing the channel in your brain. You're doing something completely different.
Yes. And at the end of 5 minutes, your timer goes off again. Then what do?
I sit down and I study again for another 25 minutes.
And how is your brain now?
It's ready. It's fresh.
Yes. Because of that little break, your battery is full again. You are back at 100% efficiency. You can learn just as well as you did in the first session.
So if I do this all day,
Yeah.
These little 25-minute blocks.
If you do this for 6 hours, you will have many, many short sessions of perfect focus. You will learn much, much more than if you tried to study for 6 hours without stopping.
That makes so much sense. It's kind of like exercise. You can't sprint, run as fast as you can for 6 hours.
No way.
But you can sprint for 1 minute, then rest, then sprint again. You can do that many times.
That is a perfect example. It's like interval training for your brain.
You said something interesting earlier. You said, this can train my brain. Does my focus get better over time if I do this?
Yes, that's a fantastic point. It absolutely does. It's like training a muscle at the gym.
So my focus muscle gets stronger.
It does. When you first start, 25 minutes might feel hard. Your mind might start to wander after 15 minutes. But if you keep practicing,
It gets easier.
it gets easier. Next month, maybe you can focus for 30 minutes, and then maybe 45 minutes. You can build up your focus endurance.
So I can improve, but I should start small.
Absolutely. Don't try to focus for an hour on day one. Start with 25 minutes. It's a simple, powerful rule.
Okay. Lesson 1, time. Use the 25-minute rule. I've got it.
Perfect. Now let's move on to the second big problem. This isn't about when you study. It's about where you study.
The environment, the room you're in.
Exactly. So tell me again, where do you usually study?
I usually study in my bedroom.
Okay, and where in your bedroom? At a desk?
No. Usually on my bed. It's so soft and comfortable. I put a lot of pillows behind my back.
Okay, well, I have some bad news for you.
No. What is it?
The bed is probably the worst possible place to study.
The worst. But why? I love my bed. It's so comfortable.
That's the problem. It's too comfortable.
Yeah.
To understand why, we need to talk about an idea called primary function.
Primary function. Okay, that sounds a little scientific. Let's break it down.
It's actually very simple. Primary just means first or main.
Okay, main.
And function means the job that something does. The reason it exists.
So primary function means the main job of a place.
Exactly that. Every room, every space in your house has a main job. And your brain knows what that job is. It's learned it over many years.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about your kitchen. What is the primary function of your kitchen?
Well, cooking food.
Yeah.
And eating, of course.
Right. Now think about this. When you walk into your kitchen, how do you often feel?
I usually feel a little bit hungry. Even if I just ate. I open the refrigerator to see what's there.
That's your brain working automatically. Your brain sees the kitchen and it thinks, this is the food place. Time to eat. It opens the food program on your computer.
That's amazing. I never thought about it like that. It's totally automatic.
It is. Now, what about your living room with the sofa and the television? What's its function?
That's for relaxing, watching TV, talking with family, maybe playing games.
So when you sit down on that sofa, your brain says,
time to relax.
Right. Time to turn off. Okay, so I think you see where this is going.
I do. What is the primary function of my bedroom and my bed?
It's for sleeping.
Sleep.
Your bed has one main job and one job only. Sleep.
So when I sit on my bed with my English book and all my pillows,
your brain gets very, very confused.
It's like a fight inside my head.
It is a fight. On one side, you are telling your brain, study, focus, learn these words. But on the other side, the bed, the pillows, the whole room is telling your brain, sleep, relax. It's time to rest.
And who usually wins that fight?
The bed almost always wins.
That is so true. I can't tell you how many times I have woken up with a book on my face.
It's not because you're lazy. It's because of conditioning. Your brain has been trained, conditioned, for years and years that the bed is for sleeping.
So what's the solution? Should I never go in my bedroom to study?
In a perfect world, yes.
Yeah.
Ideally, you would have a special place like a desk in another room that is only for studying.
But what if I live in a small apartment? Or I share a room? My bedroom is the only quiet place I have.
That is a very common and very real problem.
Yeah.
And there's a solution for that, too.
Okay.
Professor Lobdell told a really great story about this exact problem.
Oh, yeah.
He was working at the University of Hawaii.
Hawaii. Sounds like a nice place to study.
It is beautiful, yes. But the students there had a big problem. Many of them had bad grades. They were failing their classes.
And why was that?
It was because of where they lived. They lived in dorms.
Let's explain that word dorm.
A dorm, or a dormitory, is a small room for students at a university. It's often just one single room where they do everything.
Everything. So they sleep, eat, and study all in the same little room.
Yes. The bed is right next to the desk. The desk is right next to the little refrigerator. There's no separation.
So the brain is just completely confused all the time.
Extremely confused. The brain doesn't know, is it time to sleep now? Or is it time to study? Or eat? The functions are all mixed up.
So what did they do? They couldn't just give all the students bigger houses.
No, of course not. They use a very simple, very clever trick. It's called the lamp trick.
A lamp. You mean like a light?
Exactly. Just a small, simple desk lamp.
How can a lamp possibly help?
Because you use it to create a signal for your brain. The students were told, go and buy a small lamp. It doesn't have to be expensive. Put it on your desk.
Okay, I can do that.
And here is the rule. This is very important.
Yeah.
You only turn this lamp on when you are studying.
Only for studying, nothing else.
Nothing else. If you want to eat your snack, you must turn the lamp off. If you want to check your phone, turn the lamp off. If your friend comes in to talk, turn the lamp off.
So light on equals study time, and light off equals playtime or rest time.
Exactly. You are creating a new primary function, but for a tiny space. That circle of light from the lamp becomes your study office.
And does that actually work?
It works incredibly well because you are teaching your brain a new habit. After a week or two, your brain learns. When your eyes see that specific light turn on, your brain automatically says, okay, I know this signal. It is time to focus.
That's almost like magic.
It's just simple psychology. You are creating a study mode for your brain that you can turn on and off.
I love that idea. It's cheap, it's easy, anyone can do it.
And if you don't have a lamp, you can do it with a chair. Pick one chair at your table and say, this is my study chair. Only sit in it when you study. Don't eat there. Don't watch videos there.
You have to keep it special.
Yes. Keep the environment, the function clear for your brain.
Okay, this is great. So we fixed the time problem with the 25-minute rule. We fixed the place problem with the lamp trick. What's next? What about what we're trying to learn?
This is a huge one, especially for language learners. We need to understand the difference between two types of information: facts and concepts.
Facts and concepts. Okay, let's define those. What is a fact?
A fact is a small, single piece of information. It's a simple truth. It doesn't need much explanation.
Can you give me an example of a fact?
Paris is the capital of France. That's a fact.
Or the earth is round.
That's a fact. For English, a fact might be the past tense of go is went.
Okay. They're just small pieces of data. I get it. Now, what is a concept?
A concept is much bigger. It's the big idea. It's not just knowing what, it's understanding why or how.
Why or how?
Okay.
Yes.
For example, knowing the names of all the bones in the human hand. Those are facts. But understanding how all those bones work together with the muscles to let you kick up a cup, that is a concept.
I see. So facts are the little pieces and concepts are the big picture they create.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
And here is where students make a huge mistake. They try to learn big concepts as if they were just long lists of facts.
What do you mean by that?
They try to memorize everything. They just repeat the words in the book over and over again, but they don't think about the meaning.
This is something called rote learning, isn't it?
Yes, rote learning. It means learning by repetition, repetition, repetition. Like a parrot that learns to say hello.
Hello, Polly want a cracker. Hello.
Exactly. The parrot doesn't know what hello means. It's just making a sound. Rote learning is okay for simple facts. If you need to memorize a phone number, you just repeat it. That works.
But it's a bad way to learn concepts.
It is a terrible way. Because if you just memorize the words, you miss the most important thing for your memory. You miss the meaning.
And meaning is what matters.
Meaning is everything. Your brain is designed to remember things that have meaning to you. If something has no meaning, your brain sees it as useless noise and throws it away.
Is there a way we can prove this? To really see the difference?
Yes. Let's do a little test right now. I want to play a game with you, and I want everyone listening to play along.
Okay, I'm ready. I hope it's not too hard.
We will see. For the first test, I'm going to read a list of random letters. I just want you to listen carefully and then try to repeat them back to me.
Ready. Okay, I'll do my best.
Let's listen carefully. The letters are MTAZ, PLQ, BFSH. Okay, now you. Tell me the letters.
Oh, wow. MTAZ and then PI. I can't. I've lost it. That was really hard.
You got about 4 or 5 of them right, which is normal.
Why was that so difficult? They're just letters.
Because those letters had no meaning at all. They were just random sounds. Your brain has nothing to connect them to, so it can't hold on to them.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there a second part to this test?
Yes. Test number 2. I am going to read another list of letters. Same number of letters. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Listen carefully. STUDYSMART. Okay, repeat them.
STUDYSMART. Hey, that spells study smart.
Exactly.
That was so much easier. It was easy.
Why? Why was it so easy? It was the same number of letters.
Because it wasn't just letters. It made words. It had a message.
It had meaning.
Yes. Study smart is an idea. It's what we're talking about right now. I can connect it to this conversation.
And that is the whole secret. In the first test, you tried to memorize a list of facts. In the second test, you understood the concept.
And because I understood the concept, I remembered it instantly. I didn't even have to try.
Yes. You heard it once, and you just knew it.
This is a huge, huge lesson for anyone learning English.
It is. This is why you should not just memorize long lists of vocabulary words from a book.
Right. Don't just look at a dictionary page and repeat, apple arm, ask away.
No. That is boring. It has no meaning, and your brain will forget it almost immediately. You must always look for the meaning. Look for the context.
There's a really interesting experiment about this in the research, the one called the survival experiment.
Yes, this is a brilliant study. Let me tell you about it. Scientists took 2 groups of students. We'll call them Group A and Group B.
Okay, 2 groups.
They gave both groups the same long list of words to look at.
Okay.
They told Group A, look at each word and count how many vowels are in the word.
The vowels are the letters A, E, I, O, and U.
Right. So, for example, Group A saw the word telephone. They looked at it and counted E, E, O, E. Okay, 4 vowels.
So they weren't thinking about what a telephone is used for.
Not at all. They were only looking at the letters. They were treating the word like a random collection of facts.
Okay, so what about Group B? What did they have to do?
The scientists told Group B something very different. They said, imagine you are alone on a deserted island. You must survive.
Survive. That means stay alive, find food, build a shelter.
Yes. And they said, look at each word on the list and rate it from 1 to 5. How useful is this object for survival?
So they saw the word telephone.
And they had to think about it. They thought, a telephone. Is that useful on an island with no electricity? No, probably not. I'll give it a 1. Then maybe they saw the word rope. Well, rope is very useful. I can build things. I'll give it a 5.
So they had to think about the meaning of the object. They had to visualize it and connect it to a situation.
They had to engage with the meaning. They were treating the word like a concept.
So what happened in the end? What were the results?
A little while later, the scientists gave both groups a surprise test. They said, write down all the words you can remember from the list. The result was amazing. Group B remembered twice as many words as Group A.
Twice as many, just from thinking about the meaning.
Just from thinking about the meaning, it made the memory twice as strong.
So for you listening right now, when you learn a new English word, don't just repeat it.
No, make it meaningful. If the word is heavy, imagine trying to lift something very heavy. Feel it in your arms. Connect it to an experience.
If the word is happy, think about a time you felt really happy. See the memory in your mind.
That is exactly how you make learning fast and permanent.
Okay, meaning is the key. Now, I want to talk about a tool that I use, and I think many students use, the highlighter pen.
Ah, yes, the famous yellow marker.
I love my highlighter. When I read a textbook, I highlight all the important sentences. It makes the page look colorful, and it makes me feel like I am studying hard.
I know that feeling very well. But the highlighter, it can be a trap.
A trap. How can a yellow pen be dangerous?
It can be dangerous for your learning because it creates a problem we call the recognition trap.
Okay, let's break that down. Recognition. What does that word mean?
To recognize something means to see it and think, oh, I have seen that before.
Like when you're walking down the street and you see a person?
Yes. You see their face and you think, I recognize that person. I've seen that face somewhere.
But do you know their name? Do you know their job? Do you know anything about them?
Probably not. You just recognize the face. You don't actually know the person.
Okay, I think I see the difference.
The exact same thing happens with your textbook. You read a chapter and you highlight an important sentence in yellow.
Okay.
Then, a week later, you are getting ready for your test. You open the book to study again. You see the yellow sentence. And what does your brain immediately say?
It says, oh, I know this. I remember the sentence.
Yes, your brain says, I recognize this. I highlighted it myself. And you feel confident. You think, great, I know this information. I am ready for the test.
But I'm not actually ready.
You are not ready at all. You only recognize the sentence on the page. You do not know the idea.
So when I get to the test and the question is asked in a different way?
You can't answer it. Your mind is blank because the yellow words are not there to help you.
So what is the solution? Should I just throw away all my highlighters?
No, you don't have to do that. You can use it, but you have to be careful. After you highlight something, you must test yourself.
How do I test myself properly?
It's simple, but it's very powerful. You read the highlighted sentence, then you close the book.
I have to close the book so I can't see the words.
Yes, that's the most important step. Then you try to explain the idea in your own words. You can say it out loud or write it down.
So if I can explain it clearly without looking at the book,
Then you truly know it. You have learned it.
and if I can explain it, if I get stuck and say,
Then you do not know it. You only recognized it. And that means you need to go back and study that part again until you can explain it with the book closed.
that's a really good test. It's a little difficult, but it's very honest. It shows you what you really know.
It's the only way to be sure that you are not falling into the recognition trap.
Okay, we've talked about time, place, meaning, and highlighting. These are huge ideas. Now, can you give us some powerful tools that can help us learn better?
Of course. I have 3 very practical tools for you.
Great. What is tool number 1?
Tool number 1 is something you do every night. It's sleep.
Sleep? Wait a minute. I always thought that to study more, I had to sleep less.
No, that is a very common and very bad mistake. Sleep is not the enemy of studying. Sleep is when the real learning happens.
Can you explain that? How do I learn when I'm unconscious?
Imagine your brain is a computer. All day, while you are in class or reading your book, you are typing new information into the computer.
Okay, I'm creating new files.
Yes. But you have not clicked the save button yet. All that information is just in the computer's temporary memory.
Oh, so if the computer suddenly turns off, I lose everything I typed.
Exactly. Sleep is the process of clicking save. It takes the information from your day and saves it to your long-term memory.
When does this saving process happen?
It happens during a very special and important stage of sleep called REM sleep.
REM. What does that stand for?
It stands for REM, which means rapid eye movement.
Rapid means fast, so fast eye movement sleep.
Yes. It's a stage of deep sleep where if someone looked at you, they would see your eyes moving very quickly behind your closed eyelids.
I think this is when we dream, right?
That's right.
Mm.
And while you are dreaming, your brain is working very hard. It's like a librarian. It's taking all the memories from the day and organizing them. It moves the important information from short-term memory to long-term memory.
It's saving the files onto the hard drive.
Yes. And this REM sleep mostly happens later in the night, in the second half of your 8 hours of sleep.
So I really need a full night of sleep for this to work.
You do. You need about 8 hours for the process to complete properly.
What happens if I pull an all-nighter? I know many students do this before an exam.
An all-nighter, when you stay awake all night to study, is one of the worst things you can do for your memory.
Why is it so bad?
Because you study, you put all this information into your temporary memory, but then you don't sleep. You never click save.
So I study all night and then I just forget everything.
Yes, you might remember some of it for the test the next morning, but 2 days later, it'll all be gone. You didn't learn it, you just borrowed it.
So sleep is a study tool. That's a tool I will be very happy to use.
It is perhaps the most important study tool there is.
Okay, tool number 1 is sleep. What is tool number 2?
Tool number 2 is about taking notes in class.
Okay, writing things down while the teacher is talking.
Yes, but there's a secret to making your notes much more powerful. You must review your notes immediately.
Immediately, you mean like right after the class finishes?
Yes, as soon as you possibly can, within minutes, if possible.
Why is it so important to do it so quickly?
Think about what your notes look like. When you're in class, teachers often speaking quickly. You're trying to listen and write at the same time.
My writing is always very messy. I miss some words or I write something that doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Now, if you wait until next week to look at those messy notes, you will probably not understand them. You'll look at a sentence and think, what was I trying to say here?
This happens to me all the time. I look at my notebook from last month and it's like a secret code I can't read.
But what if you look at your notes 5 minutes after the class ends?
Well, the lesson is still fresh in my mind. I remember what the teacher said.
Precisely. The information is still in your short-term memory. You can easily fix your messy notes. You can add the missing words. You can rewrite the confusing sentences to make them clear.
So just spend 5 or 10 minutes right after class cleaning up my notes for the day.
Yes, those 10 minutes will save you hours of confused studying later on.
That is a very smart and simple tip. Okay, what's our final tool? Tool number 3.
Tool number 3 is the most powerful learning tool of all. It is teaching.
Teaching. But I'm the student. My goal is to learn, not to teach.
But the best way to learn something deeply is to teach it to someone else.
Why does that work so well?
Because when you have to explain an idea to another person, you must understand it perfectly yourself. You cannot be confused. You can't have any gaps in your knowledge.
That's true. If I'm trying to explain English grammar to a friend, I have to be very clear and organized in my own mind first.
It forces your brain to structure the information logically. It changes you from a passive listener to an active expert.
So I should find a study partner, and we can teach each other the lessons.
That is a fantastic idea. Find a friend, a family member. Say, hey, can I explain this concept to you for 5 minutes?
But what if I'm studying alone? Or my friends are busy?
Then you can use a wonderful technique called the empty chair technique.
The empty chair. What is that?
It's exactly what it sounds like. You put an empty chair in your room across from you, and you imagine someone is sitting in it.
Who is sitting in the chair?
It can be anyone you want. Your mother, your favorite movie star, even your dog. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I have an imaginary person in the chair.
and you teach the chair. You explain the lesson out loud.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Today we are going to learn about the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. Like that.
Exactly like that. I know it sounds a little funny.
It sounds a little bit crazy, to be honest.
It might feel crazy for the first minute, but it works. Because when you are forced to speak the words out loud, you will instantly hear where you are confused.
You'll catch your own mistakes.
Yes. You'll get to a point and say, the present perfect is used for, wait a second, I'm not sure.
And then you know exactly what you need to go back and study more.
Exactly. It shines a big, bright light on the holes in your knowledge.
I'm going to try that. I will teach my cat about English grammar. He will be a very educated cat.
A perfect plan.
Okay, we have one last topic to cover today. This is about memory tricks.
Yes. The scientific name for these is mnemonics.
Mnemonics. That is a difficult word to spell and say.
It is. It just means memory tools or memory aids.
Can you give me an example of a common mnemonic?
One of the most common types is an acronym. This is when you take the first letter of each word in a list and use those letters to make a new, easy-to-remember word.
Like how NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Exactly. But for studying, we often make up silly words because they are easier for our brains to remember.
The outline mentioned an example from a driving test.
Yes. Imagine you are learning to drive. Before you start the car, you need to remember to do a list of things in order. Adjust your seat, adjust your mirrors, put on your seatbelt, and so on.
It's a list of steps.
And it can be hard to remember the correct order. So students might make up a funny word like SMS for seat, mirrors, seatbelt.
I see. So if I have to remember a list of things for a test, I can create a funny word from the first letters.
Yes. It's a very effective technique for memorizing lists. But, and this is a very important but, there's a warning.
A warning. What's the danger?
Be very, very careful when using these kinds of tricks to learn a language like English.
Why is that?
The expert in our source material told a story about a teacher he knew. This teacher wanted to teach his students the English word squeamish.
Squeamish. Let's define that word. It means someone who is easily upset or disgusted, especially by things like blood or spiders.
Correct. If you feel sick when you see a scary movie, you might be squeamish.
Okay. So how did the teacher try to teach this word?
He used a very complicated trick. He made up a funny poem in the student's own language about a sheep.
A sheep? What does a sheep have to do with the word squeamish?
Nothing at all. But in the other language, the word for sheep sounded a little bit like a part of the word squeamish. So he made this whole story.
And did it work? Did the students remember the word?
Here's the problem. The students remember the poem. They remembered the story about the sheep. But they couldn't actually use the word squeamish in a real conversation.
Why not?
Because the process was too slow. Imagine you are talking to an English speaker. You want to say, I am squeamish.
Okay.
But before you can say the word, your brain has to first remember the poem. Then it has to remember the story about the sheep. Then it has to translate the idea back to the English word.
By the time you do all that, the conversation is over. The other person has walked away.
Exactly. You cannot speak a language fluently if your brain is full of these slow, complicated tricks and translations.
So what is the right way? What should we do instead of using these tricks for vocabulary?
You must learn words in context.
Context. That means learning the word as part of a real sentence or a real situation.
Yes. Don't learn a funny poem about a sheep. Instead, read or listen to a simple sentence like, my brother is squeamish, so he cannot watch hospital shows on TV.
And when I read that, I should visualize my brother. I should imagine him turning away from the TV.
Yes, you connect the word directly to a real meaning, a real image. There is no slow translation. There is no middleman.
That is such an important distinction. Mnemonics are good for lists, but context is necessary for language.
You said that perfect.
Wow. I feel like my whole idea of studying has changed in the last hour. We have learned so much.
We really have. Should we do a very quick recap, just summarize the main points for everyone?
Great idea. Okay, point number 1 was the problem with time.
Right. Don't study for hours without stopping. The rule is study for 25 minutes, then take a real 5-minute break.
Number 2 was all about your environment.
Yes. Don't study on your bed. Your bed's primary function is sleeping. If you have to study in your bedroom, use the lamp trick to create a special study zone.
Number 3, the difference between facts and concepts.
This was a big one. Don't just memorize. Always look for the meaning. Remember the Study Smart test. Connect new words to your life.
Then there was number 4, the highlighting trap.
Don't trust your highlighter. It makes you recognize words, but it doesn't mean you know them. The real test is to close the book and explain the idea out loud.
And finally, number 5, the powerful study tools.
Yes. Use sleep to save your memories. Review your notes immediately after class, and practice by teaching what you've learned to the empty chair.
This is a complete guide, I feel. I feel ready to go learn something. I feel efficient.
That is wonderful to hear. That's the whole goal.
Before we sign off, do you have one final thought for our listeners to take away with them?
I do. I want to leave you with a question. I want you to look around the room you are in right now. Just stop and look at your space and ask yourself this question. What is the primary function of this room?
Is its main job for working or for relaxing?
Is your room helping you achieve your goals, or is it quietly telling your brain to go to sleep? Think about it. Because if you change your room, you might just change your results.
That is a very powerful thought to end on. Thank you so much for all this wisdom.
It was my pleasure. Good luck to everyone with your studies.
And thank you for listening to Englopod.